Okay, now it's time to sort out on the graph editor some of these kind of keyframes that are a bit off. Bullshit. Okay, now it's time to do a bit of cleanup on our animation. So what we've got so far is quite a nice little blocked out cycle. Quite robotic at the minute, but that's why we can change our spacing in the graph editor. So the first thing we're going to do is up and down movement. So let's go take a look at it. So we can just hide our reference now, we don't need that. And it's the translate Y up and down. Let's have a look. Now let's actually, before we do anything, let's start to cycle our keyframe so we'll be able to see the looping curve. So if you come over here to curves, go pre-infinity, cycle of offset, and come back to curves again, post-infinity, cycle of offset. So now you'll see the curves as they go. So let's have a look at, it just never stops, even if you go past, well, pre or before what we're doing. So let's go to up and down. So we can see, zoom out, it just goes on forever and ever. So but we only need to focus on here, and when we move this, the whole thing changes. So these are the ups and the very downs, so the extreme poses. So these are the two ups, these are the two downs, and then in the middle we've got like the passing positions in between and the contacts. So let's have a look. This is the passing. Now the first thing we need to do is make sure both sides, let's need to go take that back to 25 then. Now you'll notice we get this little jerk every time it gets to the loop. Now this is because the keyframes aren't flowing into each other, if you know what I mean. So let's grab this one. So we're going to grab the handles of each of them. Hold middle mouse button. Oops. Just so they flow into each other a bit more. So like before there was a little bit of a kink in there. Make sure that flows in a bit better. Forgot to mention another thing we need to do. Is change all our tangents to auto. It's actually starting to look a bit better already. Let's have a look at the translate Y again. Now they're going to flow much better in there. And one other thing we can do is just bring the space a bit close together. And there we go with that. So let's move on to the feet now. So let's have a look at the, so let's translate Z. Now the first thing we need to do is when it starts sliding back, we want this tangent here to be a linear one. We want this tangent here to be a linear one. And we don't actually need the middle ones. So we've just got this straight line, so whenever it's moving, whenever the foot's sliding along, it's sliding at a constant speed. It's not like varying at all. bring this up a bit just to stop so a bit more closer together. And we'll do the same on the other foot. So we can see here in Translate Z when we get to the sliding point, which is here. Get that to linear. To linear. Get rid of the middle ones. And then we need to make sure these flow into each other nicely. As we did before. It's good. It's starting to look a bit smoother now. Bit nicer, more nicely timed. Let's just have a look at either rotate. Bit more of a delay there. Rotate X. Just done that flow a bit nicer. Also bring it up a bit. Concerned about the peaks a little bit here, so bring them down a bit more. Let's play through. Just going to take the curves off while I have a watch. Another thing we do is when the foot comes down really fast, we want it to maybe stay up a bit longer. So it really slams down. But we can also add a little overlap of the toes. Make them flop down a bit nicer as well. We get to 4. These are just nice little touches, so we can really see a little bit of an overlap. The toes there. So that's probably about as far as we'll go for now with the feet. I'll just need to do the toes on the other foot actually now that I've done this one. So I'll keep it you wanted to as well. So you can hold the foot up. Hold the toes up. And flop down. Maybe it's a bit too extreme, we can really bring those down. But the good thing about it is, like, when you've got the graph editor, you don't have to go back in and make a new keyframe or adjust it manually. You can just come in. Which one was it? So we've got toe controls already selected, so let's rotate Z. And you just bring these down. Make it a little bit more subtle, so it's just, same again, you can see the peaks there. Bring it down a touch. And there you go. Next we'll start to get the hips moving, and it'll kind of start bringing the whole full bottom half to life.